American trains.
Of course.
It feels good. It feels good to be back. It feels good to have something positive as a North American Counter-Strike fan.
Didn't look like we were going to have any positivity at the start of the year, but Complexity have somehow turned it around very quickly.
Well, here's what's weird. It feels like we're supposed to be giving the people what they want, and obviously with Falcons in the final, we kind of got to have G2 in the final.
Yeah, I know.
FaZe in that third, fourth place decider with Complexity, so I don't know.
All right, well, let's see. Complexity for the upset. Who knows?
Thanks, Richard. All right, Complexity G2, semi-final of epic proportions. Modesty, potentially last tournament in that G2 roster, looking to end it on a high note, give them one more trophy before he departs. For Complexity, can they still keep showing this level? Are they going to be back there like they were previously in some of the upsets they've had in this run through the group stage and through the quarterfinals? Grim and Halzerk playing like superstars at this event have powered them forward. They've got a chance at the grand finals.
Nick's going to be playing it over towards A solo. His teammates far away from any help on this defense of the A site. And G2, with the utility poised and ready, are about to put a lot of pressure on towards Nyx. I'll spot that Molotov coming out towards the fountain, steady himself for a flash over the top of the wall.
What's the timing the utility, waiting for the sound cue so he knows when to check out the flashbang.
Well, camera smokes come down as well. Flash comes up a little bit early to be effective. Nyx, in fact, getting caught by flashes from G2, and MongolZ just going to run right through, grab that opening kill, and now Hunter's in position to cut off rotations. Snacks is going to play with him as he gets his feet wet in the water, goes back to JT, Halzerk down there as well, and Snacks combines with the flank of Hunter to get a 1-for-1.
Oh, Hunter under pressure now, pushing him, good shot. That's beautiful, and that's the pistol. G2 is always in such a strong position. 5 players surviving into the bomb site, kill the 1 defender. Always going to be really hard for Complexity to get back into it, and G2 seals their fate. So 1-0 for the pistol.
I think it's such an interesting tournament so far. You know, we had so many upsets throughout the group stages, so many teams that you would expect to play a lot better. You know, I think Falcons into the final. FaZe, one of the teams as well, that started 0-2.
Well, also Falcons started this event in horrific fashion as well.
Right.
So yeah, congratulations, you're in the finals.
There's a lot of being early upsets, but I think the most compelling storyline has been Complexity for me, because they start upsetting Falcons and they show that they're at a different level, and they continued it throughout the event. I mean, we probably got the 2 cleanest runs here. You know, G2 unbeaten. The only loss that Complexity have is against G2. It was a close series as well.
These probably are the 2 best teams in terms of how they've performed at this event. They're the #1 and #2 teams at round win percent, opening kill percent, 4v5 win percent,
players,
flash assists. Yeah, they've got 4 players in the server, or in the top 5 players at the event. Sixy is down there at the 10th best player of the event. So just in terms of performance in this one isolated week, these 2 teams have been the strongest that we've seen.
Complexity have decided to go for the investment into the second round, so they're going to force everything up. Scout for Halzerk.
And G2 have a 100% conversion rate after winning the T-sided pistol, so this is going to be a tough round for Complexity to win. Important trade for Modesty, and Sixy is going to be under pressure.
Yeah, under a lot of pressure. 5-7, not going to be able to stop mobs. Halzerk peeks out from storage, and it looks like that stat you just brought up will continue to stabilize. So G2 going to go 2-0 up here. Grim and JT, no reason to throw away the Kevlar and the better weapons that they've now got. And G2 giving themselves the best possible chance at getting off to a really hot lead here on Anubis.
Yeah, should be good. Next round is going to be mostly saves for Sixy, Halzerk, and Nyx, and you'll have these 2 weapons that are brought forward, but not a whole lot of stopping power in the round. So 2-0. And for Complexity coming into this event, you mentioned, I mean, just how impressive this run has been. Just the idea of expectations versus what's now reality. Expectations coming into this event, you look at this Complexity lineup, having lost Elige, brought in 2 inexperienced North American players, and you're like, man, they're going to get wiped off the map. Like this little run they've had in Tier 2 and all these qualifiers is cool and all, but they're going to step into the server with the big dogs and just get destroyed. They've been shocking everyone.
Just shows you what a little bit of confidence can do.
I mean, they're the #1 team in the Americas VRS, just a couple days too late to get that top spot.
Yeah, that's pretty depressing.
They still have to travel from here from the grand finals or the 3rd, 4th place decider tomorrow, travel home to the States and play in the Americas at our
and that's very scary, because you know you're going to be tired of from the travel going back. Online CS is such a different environment.
You're going to get that LAN drop off where you've been playing the best players in the world and going toe-to-toe with them on LAN at a very tough Tier 1 event. And then you go online Counter-Strike.
In the Americas region.
Yeah, in the Americas region. And you're going to be wondering, what the hell are these guys doing while they wide swing you and rip your face
Most
off?
important ramifications of the season as well for Complexity. So it's a lot to be interested in going into the later stages of this week. G2 should keep this clean and get a 3-0 lead. Heavy God flashed. Pressure being put on. MongolZ's going to hold on and take away the head of Nyx. Oh, a little uncomfortable there from Alps as he quick switches to his knife and then drops down to his death. Snacks will make sure that the trade comes in, but they're still trying to keep the pressure on Snacks. He's going to see them coming out of camera in and around those smokes, but you don't want to give away another AK opportunity here.
No, but he's got relative safety with those smokes down. Two of them creating that wall as a buffer. Grim, the only defender at the B bomb site. Molotov goes towards the platform, and a Deagle is spotted in Temple. And once again, JT has just rotated over, and he's stuck by the smoke, takes some nade damage as well. G2's working their way to the other side of the map. So this round, Complexity doesn't realize is kind of already lost.
Yeah, well, an AK save is the best case scenario here for Halzerk. G2 could move through in towards the A site. Now, we talked about the sort of environment change that's gone down inside of Complexity, and when you lose a big star player, a big vocal player in a Liege, you will look to your more experienced player that's left over, and that's Grim, who we know has traditionally thrived in environments without those big personalities in the squads, where he actually has some space for himself. And I think when you look at the vibes and Complexity, it feels like it's a much better team atmosphere at the moment. They've mentioned that in their post-game interviews. They feel like everybody's on the same page. They're not as worried about making mistakes.
Well, it's easy to feel that way too when you go on like a 13-match win streak at Tier 2 coming into this event, and then at this event you're causing all the upsets in the world. So that team environment is really easy to keep positive at the moment.
Probably have lower well, you definitely have lower expectations of the roster now, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely add into that mix. But you know, you look at the other side of things in G2. You know, it probably is a little awkward over there right now, Jason.
Maybe, but, you know, look, I think it's one thing that players have to get used to as this becomes more professional an environment, that these roster changes are going to be happening. But also, like, remember, they just went through this in Shanghai with Nico. They've played under these very same conditions when a superstar player is leaving your team. That's not to say it's not going to be distracting, but they've been through the emotions and they understand how the distractions can affect them from the outside.
Well, no excuses now for Complexity. They've got all the weapons they want, maybe minus the AWP for Halzerk.
Snacks is calling Supple Sipple in this first gun round, though. They just want to pop and explode behind this lurk smoke at the B bomb site. JT and Grim defending.
No, there's no quick explosion through it, but G2 just putting their pieces in the right place. Hunter. And MongolZ combining mollies. Grim's going to be burned out of his position, has to use a smoke to stay alive, stay comfortable. It's JT up first. He'll pass his test. Grim can't. Heavy God on the double. Complexity locked out of the site. Another kill from Snacks, and that kill has surely won this round.
Yeah, shots a little bit off the mark for Complexity, for Grim and Sixy in particular in their exchanges. Heavy God with some very important kills coming in. Two of them to clean out the B defense behind the bomb site. He's been excellent for G2. MongolZ's the #1 rated player at the event with a 1.28 rating. Heavy God's 4th. He's not far behind at 1.22. And he's been having a very good event, which has got to make G2 happy in the world where they're losing another star player. Having this talent that you've brought in for the future deliver good performances for you has got to make them feel just a little bit comfortable.
Right, you bring it back to what Maui was saying before this game, and if you're G2, you don't want to just look like you get solo carried by MongolZ. You want to be an interesting prospect for other players to want to come into the squad in the future. You know, if you lose Nico, MongolZ, what allure does G2 have? And you want to see that you do have Heavy God, you have MongolZ, and these are going to be players you can actually build around and play with in the future.
And let's mention as well, Hunter as well with increased performance since he's taken more responsibility in terms of as the secondary caller, as a second voice within the team, taking a lot of control of the CT sides, and he's been playing individually much better than we saw towards the end of Nico's tenure in this team. Here's Heavy God, the first kill onto JT, snaps over to Grim, who couldn't get the kill fast enough, and the Galil spray connects onto a lack of helmeted Sixy.
Well, all out for Halzerk. So you can notice the save weapon earlier allowed him to have a little bit of extra cash built up so he can get that AWP out. Grim is just being the main talking point for Complexity. 0-3 start for him. He's going to try and turn that around as quickly as possible. And he might be under pressure again here because heavy numbers from G2 about to apply utility towards the entrance of this B bomb site.
Well, here they are, not staying still, being proactive. Halzerk covering Nyx. Halzerk's going to take the peek towards stairs, nails it.
Great push out. We've seen Complexity playing this dynamic CT side all tournament long, and Halzerk getting away with the pick. m0NESY's going to try and respond. Ooh, a flash comes in. Grim getting one. Traded back by Hunter. And elsewhere, Nyx has got another in this round, and G2 fall to 2 players with under a minute on the clock.
Yeah, the AWP took the A main peak, and the M4 started pushing up. Nyx catches one completely off guard. Didn't expect the follow-up from an M4. Now as he hears the footsteps.
Look at his position as well.
And Snax is in for a nasty surprise.
Yeah. Nyx is in the corner. Easy headshot. Bump goes down, looks for the follow-up. And that's more like it from Nyx. 3 kills. Able to take the space outside of the A site and cause real problems for G2.
Yeah, just sent that whole round into hell. G2 trying to figure out at the B bomb site with that flash peek from Grim. They needed to find a second option and never had the time with which to do it. You can see Hunter being vocal there, looking down at the notes. Trying to get his team set up for round 6. There's Nyx taking away some legs. And just as the desk mentioned, constantly pushing, constantly having information, constantly telling his teammates on the other side of the map what's clear. Well done from Nyx for a triple in the round. Complexity on the board.
m0NESY's got the AWP out. He's going to be at T-stars at the moment, going for a peek, combined with the flash to get Halzerk off of the angle. But they send one back. m0NESY gets blinded, but still hits the kill.
Dude, he was so casual. He like even double scopes. He's like, oh, I'm blind. I'll just use the second zoom function. We're all good.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
m0NESY, he might just get another one here too.
I can't even really comprehend that with how blind he was.
Just so comfortable with the angles. Knows exactly what he's dealing with, what he's up against. And he goes again. m0NESY with a second, and immediately Complexity feeling the impact of the sniper.
Yeah, this is the problem with playing against m0NESY, is he's so good at so many different styles of AWPing, going for entries, going for picks, being a combative presence, and single-handedly found 2 openers and taken control of Dark away from Complexity.
And because of the amount of presence that he can provide alone, it allows them to commit 2 players through middle, take more space against this defense. 60 coming back, can't get the kill. Nyx moves out, and it's got to be heroic from Nyx to be able to make anything of this round. Unable to take the kill towards A main, 35 seconds, getting split on, wrapped on, and double peaked. No chance, and Grim has to save. There's no way he gets into even a thinkable situation here, and we're looking at 5-1 thanks to m0NESY sniper.
Oh, man, Complexity's getting really outclassed in these first 6 rounds of play. I mean, m0NESY just batters you down, but I mean, just the way they kind of choke off this defense in the round. So much attention and so much action and so much pressure on the B bomb site, sliding into middle. Prepared for every single fight, handling Nyx's aggression in A main. Knowing he had no options, no good fights to take, no need to pressure him because he's got to make a decision at some point. Perfect play from G2, and they're going to be up by 4. This map was played back in the group stage, as I'm sure you heard from the desk. A series in the group stage at the 2-0 mark in the Swiss system. It was 2-1 in the favor of G2. Anubis was the only map Complexity won, 13-10. Looking like a very different game so far in these first 6 rounds, but there's plenty of time to recover still.
Flash is not proving to be a problem for m0NESY. Up next, Dust2, picked by G2. All right, still a good buy here for Complexity. You've got the AK saved over for Grim, AWP back for Halzerk. Wanted to peek towards mid, but that smoke comes up, so he changes his position to the double doors, but needs to be careful because Snax is coming closer. Halzerk gets the gun out, drops back to the camera. And G2 will just have to lick their wounds. They're down to 4 players.
And they were bringing pretty much everyone in middle, it looks like. They've got 3 players there still. Hunter just backs off to check and watch the flank. But G2's plan was really to bring bodies towards middle. So the pick from Halzerk is huge to slow them down, stops them at the gate, and they're starting to back off.
We'll use m0NESY's AWP to carve out information in middle, and then a smoke into camera. Freeing up MongolZ's rifle to start to move forward. MongolZ spotting with a smoke break. It's a perfect combo to allow that further kill here for Complexity.
Yeah, look at the panic from MongolZ as well. Here's the nade hit off the wall and tries to get out of view.
Boost up on top. MongolZ didn't see it. Hunter over the top of the window opens up a chance. MongolZ gets caught, pushed through Temple into the kill, and just down to Hunter and HeavyGod to try and win this 2v4. Complexity can't let this one slide, but HeavyGod gets a second kill, this time from the grave. So it's on Hunter to win this 1v2.
He's got 28 seconds. He's got one HE grenade, and now he's picked up the bomb as well. I think he knows Nyx is over in A main. They were gearing towards pushing that earlier in the round, but stopped when the retake began through camera, so he's got to have the idea.
That's going to be a tough. They're coming in from two sides. Molly heating up his position, forced into the open. He knows what he's up against. It's just about a little bit of luck in the timing, and they just don't peek him the way he would have liked.
No, a hard fight for Hunter to figure out. Hard to find any kind of safety in that position, especially with the Molotov at his feet, clearing out half of Cake. Second round for Complexity. 2 players survive. Nyx and JT can pass some guns over. Op is on JT. He's recovered it for MongolZ. This is a first big opportunity for Complexity to do tons of damage over to G2. I mean, HeavyGod's got 6,200 at the bank, so he's doing all right. Snax has 1,500 left over after his buy. But money is low on quite a few players on this G2 side, so they're going to start laboring to put strong weapons out in the field of play. If Complexity can win this one, get a little bit of control back in the big picture of the match.
Oh, it's quick from MongolZ. Again, MongolZ this time getting picked away. He took damage though, MongolZ. Look at this play from Hunter. Through the B-smoke, into the site. Grim not ready for it. Important that JT was able to respond. Gets behind the obelisk just in time because MongolZ had pushed out towards jail. And JT goes back into that fight. This time MongolZ will maul him. Complexity fall straight away.
Yeah, and there's a little change of pace in this round from G2. MongolZ's not going to miss that shot. 60 swings right out into him.
Just the ferociousness of how quick that round victory was.
Well, it's a great call from Hunter because, I mean, they just get the pick in middle, right? So, you know, you might not rotate immediately, but there's a chance in Hunter's brain where he's saying maybe that rotator from the B bomb site went back to get to Temple really quickly. But still the aggression through the smoke that Grim can't possibly predict. A beautiful opening kill from Hunter that puts so much pressure on JT. So 6-2, and Complexity held off of winning rounds in a row.
Yeah, frustrating for the CT economy, as you said. If they'd been able to pick this round up, G2 would have been the ones starting to go on the back foot money-wise. But with that kind of recovery and as many players staying alive as G2 were able to sustain, their T-side woes go away.
And the biggest issue for Complexity right now is so much conversation has been about, oh, nice quick shot from MongolZ.
They both landed them. It looked like MongolZ hit his through the
edge
wall.
Of the wall, perhaps, yeah. I mean, the biggest issue is with the success MongolZ's had with the op early on and some opening picks, negating some of the aggression. He's 3-0 in opening duels. Like, some of the aggressive stuff that Complexity likes to do on this map is getting taken away from them. Those moves that have been so impactful.
You start to feel suppressed.
And a lot of it, too, comes down to, like, mid-round aggressive ideas from Complexity, but if you've already had a player picked off and playing 4v5 with 1 minute and 15 seconds, it's harder to be aggressive.
More pressure on Nyx in this round with the only rifle. Goes to the A main play aggressively, gets information they're close by. They're going to keep the pressure up, though, G2. They're coming through the smoke, and 2 kills instantly. No one else home for Complexity. All 3 players outside of the B bomb site. G2 are going to go through the motions with the utility, but they will soon realize they have 7 rounds.
And now it's going to be about establishing your escape route, because Complexity might want to line up to get some exit kills. Try and snag a couple free AK-47s as they exit the bomb site. And that positioning will be over towards Rugs for Grim. MongolZ down the stairs to punish anyone exiting through A main.
Making sure they just get rid of any spoils of war that might blow the way of Complexity. And G2 will retreat to the beach. Grim looking for a steal away. The AK caged in.
I bet you could stick your arms through those grates.
Let's see.
Oh,
yeah. Just like that, Jason?
Yeah, just like that.
Well, they made it difficult. They had to go and find it, and well done.
They did their best.
They got the AK.
Yeah, it's a valiant effort. They might be a little bit bummed when they hear that AK-47 shooting this round. They're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
They added a few extra steps, but, you know, we're looking at Complexity needing to get a few more CT rounds here. We're getting to the later stages of the first half, and obviously 2 rounds is not going to be enough. So
I think what's more worrying than the scoreboard is oh, hold the phone. We got some aggression. Okay, Halzerk has an angle. Yeah, Grim really swinging for it, but backing off when he sees nothing. So nothing gained. Like, you have the information at this point, but, I mean, G2 can still be there, and you can't do anything about it. So nothing from Complexity off that push.
A lot of risk, not a whole lot of reward.
I was going to say, what's more worrying, I think, than the scoreboard to me is I've seen like Sixy in some heads-up duel that we've been seeing win throughout this tournament that he's really struggled with, just 1v1, like mid-range fights. Aim hasn't felt as sharp. Same for Grim, but I think his is more at the B bomb site with the different number of styles of hits that G2 has shown them.
Yeah.
And the confusing nature of kind of lurking through some of these smokes. I think Grim just hasn't been able to find a clean fight.
Well, they do decide to go towards B again. It's not exactly the strongest setup here. You got JT committed to connector. He's used his final piece of utility, and it's useless.
Yeah, it's gone into the smoke.
And he's only got an MP9, but he's up against Snacks. And Snacks just about comes out on top of that duel.
It's a pinch towards the A bomb site, at least for the moment. 3 players in middle, including MongolZ with the bomb, who's playing support with the op. So he can actually back off if they feel too much resistance. There's 3 defenders here. Halzerk, Nix, and Sixy.
25 seconds to try and delay this. Sixy throwing the grenade in, taking away the first, cracking the legs from beneath him, but Hunter comes back in, and with a hit heavy from A main, it is Complexity's defense that has disappeared on that A bomb site.
Yeah, it got melted, didn't it? 1 kill from Sixy, but Hunter swings left. Pathing is just so strong and destroys 2 defenders. Never expected that kind of a punch to come from camera.
Already MongolZ is searching for that saving player of Grim. Might catch MongolZ looking the wrong way. There's the headshot. He'll get to that AWP. But whether or not he can hold on to it is a whole different story because Heavy God's sprinting through spawn to try and get back to him.
Yeah, and Snacks is lurking up through dark right now into the B bomb site as well. I don't know if Snacks will have time unless he starts running. Grim, just a few seconds left to survive. Snacks is here, knife out. Bomb explosion might have hit the footsteps. 8-2.
Yeah, Hunter did have a pretty crappy game on Anubis the last time, didn't he, against Complexity?
True.
He's feeling better now.
He should be 8-4, leading the way for G2. Obviously getting out of a round where you get all the impact with the opening frags. Here's Snacks finding the first kill, but these 2 right here are what sealed it. Spray down, instant headshot onto Sixy, and Nix trying to find some kind of safety, runs right into Heavy God, and Complexity knocked off their game on Anubis. This map that has become their second option after Train when that's taken away from them.
Halzerk's aggressive A play stopped by Heavy God. Doesn't get easier because MongolZ's holding for the second peak. So 5v3, couple of seconds into the round. 9-2 being teed up.
I don't think there's anything crazy that we've seen in this of G2 reading anything, but I think one of the issues that Complexity is going to have to start figuring out and learning is, you know, at an event like this where you've made this kind of a run and you've taken the scalps that you have, teams are going to look into you a lot more than they did previously. Like, they're always going to look into you, and they're all going to try and notice some tendencies and some habits of individual players. But when you start upsetting teams on this run and playing close games against G2, and you're upsetting FaZe, you're upsetting Aurora, previously Eternal Fire, you're beating Falcons and FURIA, people are going to take note and put that little bit of extra effort and time into the research.
Well, you definitely hoped for that in the semifinals. And right now, a different story on Anubis. It was a tied game at half just a few days ago, but we're looking at a very different story at the moment.
Yeah, anything but tied, really. Yeah, this is maybe the complete opposite.
Well, Complexity might be tied up.
Yeah.
Restrained. And G2 not going to let them out.
But really, just no fragging.
There's no one hitting back.
Look at the kills across Complexity. Halzerk, JT, and Nix have 4. Sixy and Grim have 3. there's just not any frags coming out for the complexity side. And I mean, as we all know, that kind of makes it impossible to one, win rounds, and two, stop anything coming in your direction.
Yeah, especially, you know, it's depressing when Grim's been the second highest rated player of the event. holzerk's been the third highest rated player of the event.
In 6, he's number 10.
But right now, they're getting their ass handed to them by the number 1 rated player at the event in MongolZ, Heavy God, just in behind holzer. So, you know, it's been a very tough first half here for complexity, but it would make it all the more impressive, Jason, if they pull it back.
True.
There's that.
They better get started now. Better get it started out of this pause in the action. Round 12, last of the first half, and then we're going to switch sides.
Juggling the AK-47 to Snacks.
Yeah, Snacks going to take a dark peek.
Shocking, really. No one from Complexity feels comfortable enough to fight that with what they've got at the moment, so not gonna get an easy opener.
Big risk for Complexity in this round, too. They're playing a solo B defense. JT, the only one here, so they've doubled up in middle. They've obviously doubled up at A, which they've been through a lot of this half. Nix and Sixy. Oh, Sixy's going to push.
Oh, he is. Trying to get away with one here at the window, but he goes into the open. MongolZ got the early warning system from his teammate spotting that push forward. Grim getting burned, has to drop back behind the double doors.
He's pulling holzer closer to him right now.
Now the pressure, the spam coming in as well. Grim taking bullets, not reacting, not panicking. Stays put in the corner. holzer has to help him, but holzer's gone. Dink landed, not enough damage though. MongolZ to react immediately as Grim goes down after 1. JT and Nix separated by the entire distance of the map. And no matter where G2 decide to finish this, they are heavily favored to just get in with no resistance.
MongolZ's having one hell of a game right now. You can tell he wants to play his future teammates in the grand final. That feels like such a weird sentence to say.
Yes, it is.
All right, JT back at the bomb site. 2 coming from dark, 2 coming from main. Your rotation is here. Nix has arrived, but can you guys actually do anything? Yep, there's 2.
Well, they're right back into it all of a sudden with those 2 kills, but Hunter still alive. MongolZ right beside him, but 15 seconds is the problem. Will that grenade get JT? It won't. Nix, here's the tap. It's not the commit. He goes into the peak, but the bomb is down, and so not enough time. Hunter not able to get to it. Needs the kills, and they run away. Nix even stands and fights to close the 3rd round for Complexity.
I mean, that's 2 of Complexity's 3 rounds are Nix having a triple kill. Those are 2 of the 3 rounds they've won. Is Nix stepping up massively and performing individually very, very strong. He's done it again to close out the half. So 3 is all Complexity will leave with on the CT side of Anubis. I know it's a T-sided map, but that doesn't feel like nearly enough.
No, especially when you had a 6-6 half just a few days ago, right?
And when you're playing MongolZ, who's in this shape, I feel like, you know, whenever he stepped into a shot, whenever he stepped into a fight, stepped up to take an angle, he was successful at it.
I think a CT half for Hunter was particularly tough for him at the B bomb site. In the previous game they played, he finished with 4 kills total on Anubis.
Sure.
So, you know, he's not going to have that same bad game today. We're already seeing he's playing better. So you're not going to have that same gaping hole weakness that Complexity could possibly abuse here in the second half either. And to be honest, they might not even get much of a second half if G2 get a pistol win and convert it. You know, we're right down the end of the path. But yeah, I think it is, you know, touching on it again, it is kind of a weird scenario where G2... Now, with this kind of performance, it feels easy to say that the favorites get into the final. But that's going to be... I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. It's going to be a very strange one, Jason. But I'm all aboard it. Just for the entertainment value of the whole thing.
It's going to get weird. And, you know, we like weird.
Oh.
Heavy play towards the A bomb site. They've got a smoke on holzer, a flash on JT. That's it to get them in. But they got to get past MongolZ's duels. And he's got a Heavy God baiting.
Let's see. MongolZ Joel Beretta is primed and ready, but not able to get a single kill, nor will Heavy God. So Complexity get through the initial defense, and they're right into the site.
And it's pretty much the exact thing in the first half as well, where it's like, good luck. You know, they're in the bomb site, 5 players. Smoke is up in camera. Like, you're not winning this round if you're G2. You're not retaking this.
Just too clean on the initial thrust forward.
Yep, you needed some kills, obviously, out of MongolZ and Heavy God to make this doable in the post plant, and you can see JT's already come out to take everything away from G2.
Yeah, you're not going to get that Kevlar, at least in JT's mind, but not able to land too much here on Snacks. Receives a lot of bullets. Now JT goes back to be finished off, but Grim's flanking around the backside. Snacks, his attention was elsewhere. So Grim gets an easy pick on Snacks. Oop, timing to look away as that MongolZ peek comes in, but he gets the instant goosh, and so MongolZ no longer confident to fight. He'll fall back, and Hunter right at the end secures another kill, but Complexity, extra one to two, not bad at all. But 4 rounds for Complexity picked up. That's the first step. Super long road back into this game, but in terms of grabbing the pistol, they do it easily.
Let's see if they can handle the conversion. Things can always get a little bit a little strange in the round like this. We'll see G2. They're going to invest into the round, try and stop Complexity from building up any momentum, prevent the comeback from even starting. So smokes are out in round 14. Complexity, a lot of bodies towards the B bomb site. Looks like Halzerk's going to set them up behind the MAC-10 to lead their way into the bomb site.
Well, MongolZ has got the first. Hunter got caught switching back to his weapon from the utility he once had, and so 60 Grim collapse upon the B defense. And so G2 setting up, the smoke comes in towards connector. It's not looking too likely for them to get into a competitive spot from here.
There we go, it's a nice shot from Grim. Get a little of those mechanics back in action on this T side, gonna be at 5. When all is said and done in this round, it's Snacks, MongolZ, Heavy God just looking to grab some weapons in the save.
You know, in terms of having the checklist of things you need to accomplish if you are going to pull off a huge comeback, Complexity ticking the first few boxes.
Well, obviously pistol round, second round is nice. I think even, you know, we'll say in this kind of a situation where 3 weapons are brought forward, the third round is going to be very nice as well, because they'll still have some elements on the map that are dangerous from G2. I think the biggest element, if you want to make a comeback happen, is in the fragging department. You know, like, you just need people to be killing things.
Yes.
At this point, you need some individuals to step up, and I know that sounds pretty reductive, but Grim at 7 kills, Halzerk at 4 kills, 60 at 4 kills. The last time, when they played in the group stage, this was really like a story, like MongolZ and Grim were going head-to-head. MongolZ is 67 and 44 in that series. Grim was 67 and 54 in that series. So Grim was at least getting enough done to kind of negate the impact of MongolZ, and it's nowhere close this time.
A lot of the games that I remember from Grim, he got off to a really hot start, right? We've seen him rack up like 9-2. He was just fragging out, and he continued that, whereas now he has to try and... He started slow, and he's got to build up into the game, and we'll see if he's capable of doing so in such a high-stakes game here in the semifinals. Timeout taken. First timeout here for G2.
So they've given some extra pistols out. No armor on Hunter. Hovering right around that 2,000 mark, except for MongolZ, who wants to be able to afford the AWP. Not the most difficult round in the world for Complexity, but not without its chances to go south. A stack up in middle for G2 on defense. Snacks, MongolZ, and Hunter. Heavy God at the A bomb site. MongolZ over at the B bomb site. And Heavy God will get the first thrust of action. It's really nice to have control of A main if you're Complexity in a round like this. This early and this fast, this quick into the round. Don't have to worry about clearing it in the mid round. Don't have to worry about 5-7s being close up to you. MP9s hiding behind an angle at the box. It applies a decent amount of pressure over to G2. Hunter gets pulled away from the mid stack, just as 60 and Grim start to make their play in middle.
Well, Heavy God get the info in time for this molly to be effective. Okay, he does flick the Molotov down in front of him. Now gets in an awkward fight that Nyx is going to win. And that's all the space they need for this A bomb site to work out in Complexity's favor. Then Grim gets a double in mid. Ooh. Banged out by MongolZ, though.
Yeah, that's a beauty of a shot with a dig. Smoke and AK picked up. That's a nice thing to have for the next round. So MongolZ's going to try and hang on to it. 60 hunting with low HP. It's got no chance, surely.
Oh, give him a shot.
Okay.
Yeah, MongolZ made it difficult for himself, really, getting close to that angle before he peaked. He had to make a huge adjustment.
That was a heavy pre-fire, wasn't it?
Yeah, and 6 rounds now for Complexity. Gap is now 3.
Okay. Well, now we're cooking. Now we're underway. First gun round between the two teams in the second half. MongolZ's going to buy his AWP. He's got armor as well. Utility and M4 is being picked up for the rest of the G2 defense. They're going to be all set. They got plenty of cash. We'll see what Complexity's first gun round is going to look like into this stronger defense. And MongolZ, with that AWP, had so much impact in the first half, tearing Complexity apart. Can he do it from the CT side as well? AWP going to start towards Temple, towards the B bomb site. In support of Hunter and MongolZ, Snacks in middle, Heavy got it A.
Flash into Con, and MongolZ doing the initial damage, goes into the peak, and JT's gonna lose his life. And Nyx didn't get through the smoke in time, so he has to take an awkward fight that he still wins. But MongolZ, alive at the back of the platform, going into the right side peak, that's the bomb, but he misses it, goes back. Oh, no scope attempt, not gonna land. Hunter's turn to step up and pull this back for G2, and just before that grenade sells in, he gets his 2 kills. holzerk tagged. Moving forward into the CT smoke. Snacks is retreating. holzerk's got time.
He's got the bomb, most importantly, so that time is a huge ally. He knows the position of Snacks from the trajectory of the Molotov that was thrown. Gonna try and wrap around him, but he could just choose.
He could just choose
to
the
slide
flank
the camera
as well. Like, he could go with the aggressive call.
Honestly, I think it's a little bit of a bummer. Snacks keeps moving out of his gaze. Like, he's actually...
And now he's gone to CT.
Yeah, he's been in a position to just kill one player and have the whole map available to him, but Snacks just by sheer luck or unluck has moved away.
Well, we'll wait and see if it's lucky or unlucky. holzerk going into connector. There's Heavy got up first. Headshot in. And now checks towards Temple. Realizes Snacks could have got there. And so now puts that bomb down in the sight. Snacks steps up again. holzerk to flip a number disadvantage round in Complexity's favor on this comeback into the half. He's looking towards the A flank through water, but Snacks, he just seen the back of holzerk. He's going to track him into the corner, but holzerk's looking there now. He's got the position. Snacks needs to kill him quickly, and he will. He gets that headshot. holzerk looks on in despair, and Snacks will get to that defuse.
Classic holzerk desk pounding after that loss. Frustrating as well. I mean, like I said, I think it's so unfortunate. I actually think he played that clutch really, really well. When he looks back at that and sees the X-ray of Snacks just turning every single corner just before he's got vision, it's going to be such a bummer because it felt like he had Snacks in prime position to pick him off, go run back to the A bomb site, and just have all the advantages in the world.
This is sick from Hunter, though. I mean, both of his teammates in the bomb site don't do enough initially, right? MongolZ gets traded by Nyx to that connector smoke. MongolZ misses every opportunity.
Oh, he didn't actually death slam. I thought I saw one before he rubbed his eyes. Yeah, okay.
No smash and death.
New holzerk.
Straight through middle. Getting through that smoke. Nyx applying pressure towards Heavy God. Decent position here for Complexity early on. They've pushed all the way up to the doors at mid. They've got beyond A main. How do they want to use this?
Got MongolZ to contend with. Hunter's going to join up with him. MongolZ solo B bomb site. He's just saying, I hear and see nothing. No presence. So Hunter gets double doors. MongolZ watches for the swing through window. 3 players here now.
Yeah, this is about to get messy inside of middle. 60 goes down. holzerk to trade it. Oh, holzerk, second kill on MongolZ sniper. They needed 3 to deal with him. Now Heavy God's in the fountain, drowned out by Nyx. Realizes Hunter's coming in through camera. Stylish double kill from Nyx. And MongolZ is nowhere near the majority of the action. The bomb going into A. Grim's going to try and keep him pinned here, and MongolZ realizes he's in that fight.
Grim's lurks at this B bomb site as well throughout this tournament have been really, really solid. So just waiting behind the smoke as it fades. MongolZ slips away. Yet to see if he wants to go for this. Might just pick up the AWP on the ground and call it a day. Money for G2 is a problem. MongolZ's got 1,000 in the banks, but everyone else is dead broke. This AWP might be the only thing they have if he can hold on to it.
Now it's 2 rounds now where MongolZ's had the AWP, 0 impact. Come into the second half, 11-5, looking at 12-8 at the moment. So you've had 2 gun rounds where he's had 0 impact. This is exactly what Complexity need. Previous round, he missed shots. This time, he just gets his head blasted off by MongolZ.
Yeah, some beautiful, I mean, look, you got to say that's some spicy shooting from MongolZ's double and Nyx's double as well later on in the A bomb site. Beautiful shot onto Hunter as he tries to transition in.
It's got to feel so paranoid here. MongolZ is going to be pushed on so many different sides. Will he be able to hold on to it? Yes. Don't overextend. And you've got it for the next round. So throws that one on over to MongolZ. MongolZ, a well-earned Messioso fist bump.
Might be a second timeout for G2 to talk about what they want to do around this op. Do they really want to force buy around it at this stage of the game? Do they just want to kind of stay on pistols, go for a low buy, see if MongolZ can do a miracle for you? No timeout comes in, but we have their answer. Just pistols. A little bit of utility on MongolZ, who had already had armor and a kit from the previous round.
Well, we mentioned no impact last 2 rounds from MongolZ. This round, it has to be all of his impact.
Ended the first half with 11 kills, MongolZ. He's got 12 now, so only 1 in the second half still so far. Early going. 5 rounds of play completed since they switched sides.
Grim. Smoke blast, a little awkward. Does jump up. He gets info as well. But now he's stuck in the corner, so that re-smoke from the CTs will allow him to slightly reposition. He wants to blow it himself and have a look down into the site, but MongolZ's op. Oh, this Molotov. Could that help him out? Oh, Grim charging through the smoke. An ambitious effort, but it's all about the A play. It's all about this A play, and Heavy God trying to drop back and stay alive, play his life, try and delay and allow his teammates to rotate over. If he can get anything, that's massive, but just dropping into storage. Complexity have the site.
Well, JT's going to have a little bit of pressure on him. They're all coming around. You can hear the footsteps. There's MongolZ. Takes an AK away. Looked like G2 might have been considering going for this, considering the scavenge weapon and the flank they had with bodies. JT should go down to the T-spawn player. Now going to step forward with his teammate who peeks from A main. MongolZ in an engagement.
Oh, JT just couldn't get the angle, eventually does. Snax can trade it though. Oh, we should have traded it. A lot of missed shots there.
Yeah, you don't love to see that. Op is recovered. Smile on JT's face. Complexity just 2 rounds back. So this looked like a beatdown in the first half, but Complexity's within striking distance. They're clawing it back. Nyx up to 13 kills now. 5-1 run since we switched sides.
And he's one of the players that we've heard needs a little bit more work. You know, we've been really impressed with the elevation and performance from MongolZ, from Grim, from Sixy in this tournament. Nyx has definitely had moments, but this is a great time to step up and really start to perform. He's getting put under a lot of pressure this time from Snax's window drop. Comes out on top of that duel. MongolZ to follow up here for G2. Ooh. And Sixy's fumbling this inside of the smoke.
I think he wanted to drop way earlier and just got stuck.
Missed the timing now.
Yeah, he wanted to punish Snax trying to fall back and just couldn't hit the window. Huge advantage for G2 with the 2-man lead in the round. 5-on-3. Op train towards middle. Complexity still spread. So really, it's just going to be individuals trying to create something from their respective positions. Sixy flirting with this mid-double doors.
Yeah, as soon as he does so, yeah. MongolZ is going to peek up, nail the shot, and MongolZ JT separated for one another. The only play they really have available is MongolZ to go through connector, JT to try and come through B main. They do have space inside of the side because of the way G2 are set up. But Snax's angle is good. JT just had too much to clear. MongolZ, nice quick shot. No follow-up though. Hunter makes sure of that. 11 rounds for G2. Back to winning ways in the CT side. We'll see if they can keep this up.
There's your MongolZ impact. Double kill in the round. He does fantastic work to help shut down that attack from Complexity. 3 rounds separate these two teams. Here's the opener from Snax with his aggression. I haven't seen a whole lot of the CT aggression today. G2 did a good job of holding Complexity back and preventing their aggression from having any success, so eventually they just went away from it. G2 busting it out in targeted fashion. And a little bit of frustration now. Complexity losing their grip on this map.
They got to wrestle for it back, and they've got to do that with weaker weapons than they would like. They don't have the ult for MongolZ. They've got 2 Galils in play, and one of them going to a fight straight away, losing his life. Nyx gets away with at least that drop headshot, but as soon as he extends into the open, MongolZ is waiting to punish the repeat. Sixy's aggressive play that he's been getting away with all tournament long, getting stopped by Snax.
Yeah, he was so excited hearing that AWP ring out in A main. He's like, oh, finally, I don't have to worry about the AWP in middle, and he still just steps into the crosshair of Snax. Right into a headshot.
It's got to be a 2v4 for Complexity to flip this back. They got a minute 10. JT up on the bridge. Once again, it's the duo of Holzerk and JT to try and do it. Impossible task into the B bomb site in the previous. This time, at least wherever they go, it's even numbers. It's a 2-2 setup.
Might be even numbers, but MongolZ's here. 16 kills, and he's been excellent throughout the map. They have one smoke to utilize, but in a situation like this, they might try and keep it quiet for his... Well, maybe not anymore.
MongolZ primed. No flash. No util towards heaven. It's gotta be just this smoke out to disrupt his crossover. But he even has a little gap, and that's enough. That's all he needed. A little vision of Holzerk. MongolZ closes the kill. And now JT retreating as he realizes he cannot get into this round, but he's being pushed. MongolZ and Hunter are closer than he would have liked, so on his jump up to the rugs, it is his death sentence as he is toppled, and G2 go to map point.
Yeah, 4 chances to close this one out. It did get close for a stretch, but as soon as it did, G2 just had enough. Extended the lead right back out. 4 rounds in a row, Complexity have to win. 4 chances for G2 to take away their map pick of Anubis. A map they didn't have in the last series, and then move on to Dust2 of their own. It was an overtime victory for G2 back in the group stages on Dust2.
Perhaps something quick, simple here for Complexity with Tech9s.
Yeah, desperate, and there's 3 defenders here as well.
Hunter needs to be careful. Back was turned to an open B main, but here they come into the site. MongolZ to hit the first. MongolZ with him. And they destroy them this time. Anubis may have been close. It may have been the map that Complexity won the last time they played just a few days ago. But today, G2 have decided that they're going to level up in semi-final form. And it's MongolZ that slashes his way through the first map victory in the semi.
And indeed he does. G2 Esports just getting it done. They are just in such good form right now. It's all business. For Complexity, they're going to be thinking about one that maybe got away as they...
3 years ago, when MongolZ first slid on that G2 jersey, he went up against Complexity as his first ever Tier 1 team. And in his last tournament, wearing that G2 jersey, he plays against him in the semifinals, Jason. He's right now, he's doing enough hard work to make sure that it's not the final game, though.
I was going to say, you know, there's a chance if you know, the Complexity comes back and win this game, he's just eliminated, and it's Complexity who kind of deal him that. And that'd be an interesting little piece of symmetry across his career. It doesn't look like it, though, does it? Doesn't feel like it, especially the way MongolZ played, and now an AWPer on Dust2.
Well, Snacks waiting at the back of the platform. Hunter at car. It's a strong setup. Hunter makes it better, though, with a double, and MongolZ comes in alongside Snacks. It is a quick close to that pistol round. G2 come in with attitude.
Man, if you wreck a B rush on a pistol round like that, like no issues. Now Hunter gets a little bit lucky with his double kill over towards Car, getting blinded while doing it, but man, that's a bad sign. It's a bad vibe when a B rush gets stopped like that. Blinded for the second kill, but you could see the rotation in from MongolZ just, man, that round was going to go nowhere. Now, the first time they played this map in the group stage, CT sides had a really bad time. Both halves were 10-2 in favor of the offenses, but the only reason Complexity was able to make a comeback in the second half is because Grim was a monster single-handedly. 26 kills in the map for him, I believe, to match MongolZ's 27, but he was the only one. Holzerk won a 1v3, 60 got an ace in a 2v5, but outside of those rounds, really, there wasn't a whole lot of production from the Complexity members outside of Grim. And from what we saw in Anubis, even that one-man army isn't going to be showing up today. And you could no longer have the luxury of a potential pistol round. So mid to B split is going to be the attempt here. You have JT on catwalk, lurk smoke up towards B. And still players on the T side starting to mess with these mid double doors. Cross smokes coming in. This is all the utility Complexity has, so they have to use them. And that block
is
Well, it
huge.
gives you a path.
It does. It gives you a nice little path you can work with, but they're going to move through the smokes. Hunter at the window, overcommitted, and that is not exactly the result he was hoping for. And then MongolZ runs out of bullets. Snacks has to step up and fight on two fronts, and oh my god, he's fumbling it, but 60's come around with a Tech 9. So sure, Complexity may have not won the pistol round, but they have fought their way through into a position to win this second round for us.
Yeah, weirdly enough, but I mean, there's still a chance for G2. Now, Heavy God and MongolZ are going to come in, wrapping around through the B halls. They do not have a kit, so this has got to be fast if they want to go for it. They do have low HP players, but they need MongolZ. Oh, they got the Gush, and he's got another tag, and I think they're going to call the save. I think that's too much damage for you to go for this retake, so Complexity might have just done it. And indeed they have a second round break. It's been an issue for G2 throughout this tournament. They've only converted 50% of their CT second rounds after winning the pistol. It comes back to haunt them here in the semifinals as Complexity return the favor. Oh my god. even shot Grim a little bit. Like, what is that?
I was like, what the hell just happened? I was looking around the room, Jason.
Who's the Banshee?
Tied scoreline now, though. In terms of avoiding the disaster of going down and allowing G2 to win the pistol so convincingly, letting them build up another strong start after already winning the first map in a pretty one-sided fashion. You know, Complexity, this is the opportunity. They can't let it go. And there's still a risk to losing this kind of round. You know, Heavy God has a rifle to play with. MongolZ on the scout is always deadly.
Well, I think one thing that's going to be a challenge for Complexity throughout this half is going to be keeping the op out of MongolZ's hands. There's going to be some of those critical moments throughout this half where, like, every round, no matter how far out of reach it seems for Complexity to win it, kills are going to matter the whole time because you want that cash being spent on anything but MongolZ's op. Grim out long in a lurk position, applying pressure. Very common for teams on these kinds of anti-low buy rounds on the T side with AK-47s to attack out towards long. So they've got G2 sucked onto that side of the map while they hit B. Hunter's only able to get the one. Good reaction from MongolZ.
Into the side, Snacks coming through window. Here's a pretty awkward fight as Grim's going to go down in the middle. That's an AK-47 now available to the hands of MongolZ.
They should go for this.
60 tunnels fight.
And he's committed. He can't fall back.
He has to win this, and he goes into a fight against two players. Eventually overwhelmed with 0 output. Complexity are down to 2. MongolZ fights out the window. Now all the remaining players in GT are coming through the tunnels, and JT is going to line them up, knock him down, and MongolZ will close.
Big boy round from JT and MongolZ. Especially MongolZ with that triple, but clearing Snacks outside the bomb site. Teammate over at Car, JT, didn't have position to make the push outside the site, so MongolZ had to do it all on his own. Alleviates that pressure so the two of them can focus up on Halls and Complexity get away with it. Now just USPs for G2. Money a problem. MongolZ has saved enough for the op in the next round, so no big deal there. And G2 want to get it over with. Mid push.
2 in from JT. Grim's up next, and in terms of having quick rounds, that's certainly up there. So 3-1, Complexity get rid of that round quickly, and we move into the bye again for G2.
Okay, but now we have the first glimpse of MongolZ's op on CT side, Dust2, where he's going to take that, how mobile and how damaging he can be, because on Anubis, he destroyed them.
Yeah.
Picked Complexity apart with every step they wanted to take, every move they tried to open up around with. MongolZ was there to greet them.
And remember that stylish finish from MongolZ on Dust2 against Complexity just a few days ago. We know on the CT side, he was a devastating force for Complexity to have to deal with. So we'll keep eyes on that straight away. MongolZ's getting into middle. Grim to fight long. Smoke with the corners up so he can move out to the blue bin. He's gonna be burned out, forced him to the open. Important that JT's flash was effective. Allows that kill on MongolZ, and Grim not slowing down. Spamming through the smoke, was close to it, but Heavy got protected by MongolZ. But look at 60 in the meantime. All this fight's been going on. He's moved through the middle doors.
Yeah, they might want to try and take advantage of this quick. Good shot from MongolZ moving in. MongolZ kicks taken down at 60 and JT. They're out middle, but they don't really feel like they have room to work with. And 60's brought low, so they're going to reconvene.
Yeah, I got to retreat, reposition up towards short. They've got 2 mollies to play with. They can heat up MongolZ's position.
They're actually choosing to concede this A bomb site, give up the plant if need be. They're pretty convinced middle was going to be the final play. And now utility coming into the bomb site from Catwalk. That's JT. Molly in, and Molly down on the CT ramp, preventing rotation. So G2 have to get together and work together to take middle. You know the position of one player, so you realize no matter where you choose to go, there can only be one complexity player watching for it. But now you have a retake at this A bomb site. Smoke is up in the choke point. And Sixy's probably going to need to stay close by. Gap in that smoke leads to his death, and now JT, his position's known.
Well, gotta go big. And JT, flashes are coming up, applying pressure, forcing him into the open, into awkward fights. He does everything he possibly could there. Nearly gets a triple kill, but eventually they're able to down JT.
Bro, Hunter's at 2 HP.
Dude, that was so
He
close.
almost lined up a triple spray down that would have put MongolZ in a real crappy situation. G2 get a second round on the board. MongolZ still has his op. Weapons can be dropped over to teammates. And as soon as you get that op out, 2 kills. This one to secure long. This one to make sure Catwalk and Halzerk's aggressive lurk not going to be an issue during the mid to B split.
Smoked it long for him. And for the fight, MongolZ taking a bit of damage off the corner.
Oh, look at Sixy. He's already out middle.
He's loving this move at the moment. He's loving taking this space so early into the round. And no one from G2 has their gaze on it, apart from Snax, who's now just peeking intermittently towards him.
Complexity's actually got this real estate on the map a couple of times. I think that's why Sixy's being so aggressive in this round. He's like, every time we've kind of walked out middle, we've been able to get this sort of standing. So why not go for it again, this time early? Halzerk's going to take a peek with the op. Once a chance.
Cool, MongolZ's going to go and fight it. Because of the early position that Sixy was able to grab, he could post the op up and punish MongolZ's peak, which leaves that B-bomb site extremely weak. It's only Snax in this position, and they're drifting towards A, though.
Yeah, they think there's going to be a rotation down to CT spawn. Maybe someone who wants to help Snax out. That's not the case at the moment. MongolZ, with the timing on that smoke, is going to back off, so he's no longer committed. Complexity running into a full-blown A defense. They think they've called them out of position, but it's not the case.
Well, the G2's decision to stand their ground on this A site might just prove to be their equalizing third round. Good execute for Complexity. Utility put in place. The kill from Halzerk added to the tally. Hunter not able to step up. And this round is all Halzerk in terms of the kill output. 3 picks, 1 towards MongolZ, and the final 2 of the A site.
Yeah, MongolZ actually sacrificed his position. You get that smoke on towards Snax and Goose, and he was not ready for the follow-up fight. After saving his teammate's life, it strayed too far out into the open. 3 kills for Halzerk with the op. The pick into the B-bomb site early, and then a double kill to clear out the A site. So Snax and Heavy God have to save the weapons. And Complexity's at 4. CT side still having issues, much like the group stage game.
Snax doing his best to hold on to the AWP. Gets that peek into the tunnels now. Oh my god, that must have been ridiculous. He just appeared on his screen and the one tap comes in.
Damn.
That's a massive find at the end too. You prevent that AWP going into MongolZ's hands again.
It's a good confidence kill as well. You feel good about that one if you're Sixy, so watch for those aggressive plays. Might be trying to make more of them, get himself stuck into a fight. He's the one who gained the space to allow Halzerk to follow up and get that pick.
Yeah, and he's going to be taking space at mid on both halves, right? We've seen it on Dust2 so many times already. He loves to get up to those top mid flanks.
A good mid push on the CT side.
Wasn't always able to make the most of it in the earlier series, but was getting those opportunities.
But what's crazy is we saw it against FURIA. He pushed mid like 5 or 6 times and a half, which is like just insane. It's like surely eventually like you're just going to get caught. Eventually they're going to say this psychopath is pushing middle.
He's got the bomb on his back. Don't go through the mid. Don't. No, he's doing it with the bomb.
Live by the psycho, die by the psycho. This round you're going to live.
Well, he's comfortable. He's confident. And he's now moving up towards the B-bomb site with his C4 still intact.
Yeah, and now it's got to be MongolZ and MongolZ just playing bodyguard for this M4. keep that resource alive. You don't need to go for a weapon. You're buying in the next round regardless. Gonna try and find some space over in middle.
Oh, all three players spotted it short. They'll be happy to try and collect that extra weapon. MongolZ gets his hands on it. And now the mission for G2 is to bodyguard these two rifles and see if he can get them into the next. There should be no problems with that. No hunt from Complexity being started yet. A strong start into Dust2 from Complexity. Really positive to see. You know, there's a world in which Complexity just get blanked after that opening map, but they've come in with some fight, some attitude, and staying in it. And there's always been a question around Complexity's mental fortitude, their mental strength when it comes to important games, when it comes to comebacks, chokes. You know, it's always been there for Complexity, some of the inexperiences, but so far so good at this tournament.
I mean, yeah, it was a conversation piece for this team for sure, considering the inexperienced pieces they brought in, and obviously the playing at the tier 2 level, not the tier 1 level, but they've shown us enough comebacks, yeah, throughout this event. It's great, G2 especially. Remember, Dust2 was a 10-2 start for G2. They brought that all the way back. Ended up losing 13-10, but showed some resilience there for sure. Let's see if they've got it in the semifinals. 3-round lead. They've won 4 of the last 5.
Actually lost at 16-12. He went into
oh, that's right,
overtime.
16-12. My bad. Apologies. The other maps were 13-10.
Yep, both other maps 13-10. Well, it's G2's time to do a little bit of hard work and get back into the map. MongolZ with the sniper. And everybody else on the rifle. Let's save that AK over, so MongolZ's going to be able to play with that. Long pick available here for MongolZ. He's got the good spawn. He's going to charge.
And they're playing long this round.
Flashed. MongolZ can't make the most of it. But Grim certainly will offer himself up. He goes around on that peak. Heavy God gone. And Complexity with space out long and the opening kill in their favor.
MongolZ's going to stick around at car. MongolZ was thinking of falling back. I think MongolZ called him over to reaggress.
Oh, MongolZ goes for the... What? That's daylight robbery. He just peeks in and out. So efficient from MongolZ to get away with one headshot and come back alive.
Yeah, but look at the attack. This defense is so... Oh,
MongolZ had it closed.
He needed that because look at MongolZ. MongolZ was never going to react to a catwalk play.
And now he can trust in MongolZ to hold down short, but he's gone. And so MongolZ can no longer commit to that long fight as comfortably as he once was. Grim is still going forward, trying to take this space for Complexity. A minute left. Hunter swings. Bomb! Still up. Still alive. As MongolZ moves forward to the 50-second mark in the round. MongolZ going for a last-ditch effort, no scope through that smoke, but it's a reset point and allowing Snacks to come out long.
That's a nice timing. It's a really nice timing. He knows MongolZ is alive, though.
No one's looking until MongolZ now starts to realize that that long play could come through. He engages the info. He goes for the swing, taking the fight against Snacks. MongolZ taking shots, but his teammate's down, so it requires a clutch that 60 will not allow to start.
Okay. Now we got the fragging back for Complexity. We didn't have it for most of Anubis, but now those kills are flowing. 60 at 8, MongolZ at 9. His AWP is doing work. And Complexity running up this scoreboard, 6-2, a very nice take. Especially after MongolZ just steals a kill for no reason. But that defense, as much as the shots from MongolZ are nice, that's a big risk having MongolZ that committed to long, exposed to catwalk, and not actually having catwalk control. You could see MongolZ and Hunter desperately trying to prevent any aggression with utility, with presence on the peaks. They had to overextend to save MongolZ, and now all of a sudden, Complexity have control of this map.
Can't afford to have one of these rounds where you lose the pistols, though. You want to try and keep this clean in these scenarios. MongolZ getting out of the dangerous way. And now Snacks' turn at car. Oh, it takes a tick of the molly. That's going to be a sound cue that allows an easy peek on towards him. MongolZ, excruciating pressure, eventually taken down. MongolZ's Deagle chiming in.
Dude, G2's doing such a good job on their low buy rounds of actually picking up weapons and salvaging them.
He comes into the fight. 60 pushes in towards him, so there's another kill. 60 going aggressive right into MongolZ, and that's going to allow them to stay on this.
Yeah, he's going to pass the up over to Hunter because Hunter's just going to back off if there's any issues on this retake.
There's no kits. They gotta go so quick. MongolZ's up first, spots them all. Grim not able to get a kill. It's Nyx to step up, second kill's good. Hunter low on HP, time is the problem, and Nyx will handle 4.
It's first 4 kills of the map for Nyx, a very good hold. A desperate retake, but G2 was kind of forced into it by the success they had at taking some weapons away, finding 2 kills in middle, and all of a sudden that retake felt very doable. Up again in the hands of MongolZ, but G2 have had plenty of chances to slow down this complexity offense and haven't been able to do it. He's had the op a number of times. They've had strong buys a number of times. Just cannot get a grip on complexity at the moment.
The second timeout used in the first half.
They've kind of struggled, G2, to stop the long play. Complexity have gotten 2 big pieces of real estate relatively easily throughout this half. Long, Grim has been able to get out a number of times. And then obviously mid, outside those double doors, that's standing to execute the mid to B split. We found them in those positions plenty of times as well.
Messioso with nothing to say. It's going so well for Complexity.
Double op setup, I'm assuming one is going to drop and one has the spawn for long. So we'll see if Grim can get a pick on the mid cross. Smoke plumes. Blind shot misses the mark. Halzerk out towards long. A little bit late, and it's MongolZ, the third op in the map, that finds the opening kill.
Yeah, this one towards 60. MongolZ's got to get back up to short, or at least his vision to short. Halzerk, oh, flash. Blinds him, he drops off, and as he does so, MongolZ connects a shot. Not to lethality, though. He has a chance on Nyx. Second kill of the round, and it's MongolZ again. Complexity fall to 3. Halzerk trying to stick around and punish MongolZ, but it's on JT to create some space, to make an opening here for Complexity to move through. Hunter at Goose, now to the site. JT's got the important kill, but it's the first of many required. MongolZ just here in the steps.
And we've already seen Complexity win a round like this, where they have the A bomb site and they have G2 trapped in CT spawn, unable to really get any kind of a retake. So Grim will get that bomb planted. Nate is going to come in, ooh, maybe do a little bit of chip.
It's the high HP player, at least, planting the bomb. So it's just going to take a little bit off the top of Grim.
So Complexity know they haven't taken out the long defender.
One kit on the back of Snacks. If he dies at short, it's going to be difficult to get this kit back.
It's going to be impossible to get the kit back.
So he has to win this if they want to move swiftly. Again, Halzerk surviving damage, and G2 starting to move in. Heavy-Gut's got that headshot. Grim coming back forward. Grim now down, but remember, Halzerk's still here to try and win it all, and that's the kit gone. If he can delay this, if he can run it down, but MongolZ's on the plan, or rather the defuse, he's sticking it, and MongolZ has him covered. MongolZ holds it. And finally, a retake, and it's real close on time, but it goes the way of G2.
Yeah, MongolZ making himself a small target, making sure that Halzerk has to swing as wide as humanly possible to get that shot clean on the diffuser. Easy mop up from MongolZ, but really it's Heavy-God coming from long that provides the kill that gets the whole retake going. They needed him to get this frag. Massive one onto JT. And a pretty simple finish on a low HP Halzerk. 7-3. G2 right at the end of this half. Could bring this back and make it a strong CT side at 5-7.
Quick tunnel fight going down here. Hunter ready. He's pushed all the way in. 60 running right into the open. Hunter's got one. MongolZ to chime in the second. Hunter then starts to look towards top mid, but Nyx is up next. And Hunter committed to the corner. Nyx will use the distraction of the top mid players to allow himself that pick on Hunter, but Snacks has moved through into tunnels, realizing how much presence was in mid. There's very likely an empty tunnels.
Yeah, 2 kills in lower tunnels usually means that upper push is going to be available to you, especially when a third player makes his presence known.
Fall back now and play from the site instead.
Extended 3 versus 3 after the early action. Mid control for Halzerk and Nyx. Grim backing off from long just now. He's been waiting for a push. Nyx has full utility. Smoke, Molotov, flash. They could set up a walkout of middle and a walk up to the B bomb site. Only Snacks defending for the moment with an MT9.
This B bomb site is so weak. It is so weak, and there's no one close.
Reinforcements are very far away.
No kits on, well, the Heavy-God has one at least, so, but this is not looking like Snacks is going to be able to do a whole lot, but maybe he can surprise us.
He can't change position either at this stage.
Yeah, fighting against the odds. Snacks with the MP9, waits behind the site. Grim running him down. Snacks has got the first. He's playing his life, but extends a little bit too far back. Kill him middle, though. Heavy God's caught it, so it is Nyx in the 1v2.
He's got a molly, he's got a flashbang as well.
He'll use that straight away. Over to the tunnels, goes aggressive, takes the aggressive move. Nyx into the fight first against MongolZ, but Heavy God just had that lower elevation. Protected by the cover of the smoke, closes the round for G2.
Yeah, not the worst idea from Nyx. Molotov to delay any kind of a flank into the B bomb site, push out through the smoke. It's the least expected thing. MongolZ had no clue it was coming, but a good trade from Heavy God, and he picks up the ult for MongolZ in the last round of the half. 7-5 in Complexity with that loss are out of money. Losing bonus wasn't really all that strong, so it's going to be a pretty labored investment. Scout on Holzerk. AKs on Nyx and Grim. Utility on pistol players, Sixy and JT.
MongolZ at the corner. Dodges the initial barrage of bullets.
They broke that smoke like they wanted to fight, and they've backed off quick. Up catwalk we go. Limited utility and limited weapons. Want to try and land a really strong hit into this bomb site. MongolZ has spotted one. Molotov to give himself some time. MongolZ with the op has not budged from middle. Smoke can give him the time to do so, but I think Complexity disrespects it.
Yeah, they just run right through it. Speed. Here's the call. And MongolZ gets carved out by Sixy's Tech 9, so that plant is now set up for Complexity to try and close out with weaker weapons and an 8-4 half from the T side. G2 starting to put the pieces in place to get this retake rolling. So much to clear. They're worried about lower tunnels. MongolZ now just ascending over the top of the Xbox. Nyx's position's good. MongolZ able to spot it without losing his life, but can't connect a shot. Hunter doubles up though. Time ticking. Heavy God moving. JT and Grim 2v3. JT stuck alone in the world and just too many players to handle. So right at the end of the half, it will be a 5th round collective for G2, some essential form right at the end.
Yeah, that's a really nice retake. Really good job. That felt like a very strong position for Complexity to be in. 3 players on catwalk. The fight of chaos that Hunter comes out on top of. Triple kill in the round for him. Double for Heavy God. With an MP9 coming back from long and taking duels into the bomb site, he finds a couple of kills on the retake. 7-5. G2 got battered for a lot of that half, but right at the end, they put their foot down and run 3 straight. Put Complexity on notice that it's not going to be as easy as they thought. So we switched sides, where Complexity had the same CT issues in the group stage, only 2 rounds to the 10 of G2. We'll have to have a much better defensive performance. Pistol round is going to come live. Not any kind of crazy implications considering the scoreboard. It's close enough that it's not just a straight win if you get this pistol. Grand Finals tomorrow, 3rd, 4th place decider tomorrow. The Grand Final is going to be Falcons taking on the winner of this game, and obviously Falcons versus G2 with MongolZ in the team is a tantalizing prospect.
Oh yeah.
FaZe lost earlier today, so they're awaiting in the 3rd, 4th place decider for the loser of this series. Which means,
both games are cinema, Jason.
I know, with Grim coming back against Elish, and after the win in the group stage as well over FaZe, that would be a fun rematch.
Here's Nyx. Joe Berettas into the tunnels. MongolZ around the corner. Great shot, and they know it now. The second player's that. Heavy God is the man to take Grim out.
Early warning, can they get back in time? It's JT and Sixy coming back, but already smoked off, and they've got to play behind the wall.
Yeah, Molly to the window too, so utility being put in place is allowing a comfortable bomb plan for G2. Complexity going to try and reposition through the mid doors, but Snacks is even here watching that. And timing allows him to get back to it. It looked like he was going to be looking the wrong way as that push came in, but still getting one.
Yeah, maybe trying to think about too much, as if the long flank was going to be the biggest concern in the world there, but still in a 2v3 coming back into this bomb site. Very hard retake, and Hunter just peeks out and ends things. MongolZ, nothing to do. 6th round for G2 and extends this win streak to 4 rounds going back to the first half.
Both pistols as well for G2 on this map. Complexity were able to get a force buy back in the previous half. Got to do it again here.
Yeah, I remember I mentioned this in the first map, though. G2 100% on converting these T-side second rounds after winning the pistol. So we'll see if Complexity can do what nobody's been able to do before them.
Back-to-back strong pistol rounds from G2. Scout for MongolZ. Grim and Sixy on the double MP9 combo, getting spotted as they run the corner at long. Snack seeing 2, but sees only 1 off.
Great find for Snacks early, alleviate a lot of pressure. Makes you feel much more comfortable in this round if you're G2 at this point. Hunter's clearing out lower, sees nobody. So Xbox smoke comes in, blocking MongolZ's vision.
Boom. He'll clear it, but doesn't gather much. Nick's taking a couple of risky steps forward into the tunnels.
Hunter's looking for this.
He's aware of it. It's gotta be with the lack of presence holding the upper tunnels, but Nyx is not coming down lower. In fact, he's going the long way around.
No real good
Hunter
options.
walks in B now as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, they're doing a mid to B split anyway, so Nyx might have spotted it, but nothing matters. They're already in the site, and if you're Complexity, you save these weapons because the next round's going to be a full save regardless. You're not buying anything. So give yourself a second chance at it with the 2 MP9s, with the Scout and the Deagle. 7-7, we're all tied up.
Yeah, it's going to be frustrating for Complexity, having not been able to really build off of the lead they were getting in that first half. Number of rounds between them and G2, but that gap has been closed.
Yeah, the nice streak at the end of that first half is really painful for Complexity, considering how dominant they were through most of it. They let it slip right at the end. So 7-7. But Complexity at least get to play this round. Normally with unarmored USPs, you've got the weaponry that's saved. So yeah, second round a little bit boring at the end. It's Snax' kill in the first 15 seconds that decides things. But Complexity have another chance at it here. MongolZ's in double digits, the only one for Complexity. He's at 11 kills. Over on the G2 side, it's m0NESY at 12. Heavy got at 11, so is Hunter at 11.
Quick long take for Heavy God. Grenade's gonna eat half his health.
It's a risky step forward to get out of the nade blast. I don't know what's more dangerous, eating, tanking the nade damage, or stepping forward like that out long.
Well, he combined both. Still able to stand though. And he's gonna be waiting long while the rest of his teammates currently apply pressure up through the catwalk.
Yeah, nice and simple though. Sixy can't really do anything, no utility. Mac-10 drops into spawn, so mid players are going to be harassed. Going to be hard for them to rotate over. Grim and Sixy have everything to do.
Yeah, well that plant's coming in. Snacks just jumps on Sixy. Peeks long, and yeah, that's a nice headshot on Grim as well. So Hunter has no real reason to have to leave here. He's just locking them away. They can't get through CT spawn. m0NESY's having a look around mid. Nyx not getting spotted.
All kills matter if you're Complexity. Bring one AK-47 forward into the next round, and it's worth its weight.
Well, unfortunately for Nyx, he's gone, but MongolZ's got a double kill.
Yeah, that's that collateral. I mean, to JT, if he wants to jump into CT spawn, see if he can find a weapon, you can go for it.
m0NESY trying to keep him preoccupied, but he could also go down here. MongolZ, another shot on the Scout, cleaving weapons out of their hands. And an AK picked up for JT on the way out. Can MongolZ get a better gun?
I don't think he realizes. Oh, yeah, he did. He got one right at the end, right as we switched away. MongolZ's picked up an AK-47. So 2 AKs recovered, and what turns out to be a very nice round for Complexity. Oh, this is
double op setup.
Not even that. A third timeout used by G2. Very, very early in this second half to burn your last timeout.
Because Heavy God needs a nap.
Yeah, You think so?
Yeah.
Heavy guy was just like,
He's had enough.
give me like
I need a little break, guys.
30 seconds of shut-eye.
What do you see this recharge? He's going to come out just swinging long. This is MongolZ.
Oh, okay.
That's one way to do it. And
Yeah,
a little
it really
bang
is.
as well on Monacy.
Yeah, sweet round from Halsey. All right, double up setup on MongolZ and Nyx. Just the single up for G2 in the hands of Monacy on the other side of things. Full buy for both teams and actually some residual cash in the bank for Complexity due to the benefit of the 2 saved AKs. Monacy only spots 1 cross.
It's Hunter instead, who charges out long this time. He's got himself down into the pit. Strong position to maintain early. JT just spotting his head.
They still have 3 players up on Catwalk as well. Grim, MongolZ, and Sixy, all 3 of them hanging out there, so you've got plenty of forces nearby. You don't know what's happening elsewhere on the map, but at least you're in the right position for the moment. All 5 players of G2 out long. This is always going to finish at long.
Patient as we hit 1 minute, but G2 making sure car is clear with the molly.
I think G2's wishing they could get a little bit more of the counter utility away from the CT side with that initial smoke. I don't think they got nearly as many flashes or nade breaks as they would have liked. There's actually no HE grenades on Complexity to get the information. Unfortunately for them too, I think if Nyx had an M4, he'd be pushing up here and getting information. But because it's the AWP, and I mean, to be fair, they already have 4 players here, so who needs it?
Let's see if 4 is enough. G2 charge up the ramp into the site. Grim forced into the open. 60 catches 2 players blinded. No problem for 60 to unravel 2, and Snacks is up next. He gets a kill right back. It's 2 for him. Into the site now. Commitment to the plant. 3v3 retake. 2 ops in play. And it is now just those 2 AWPs as Monacy pulls away JT from context. And we've got Nyx fighting back. Monacy going down. AK switched out to. We'll see if the rifle can make the difference because it has to. It is the only remaining weapon. Nyx with no kid on his back and no head on his shoulders.
Probably felt really good winning that long engagement, that duel with Monacy on top of the car with the AWP. Both AWPers just saying, screw cover. We're just going to fight until one of us goes down. Nyx wins it out, but great shooting from Snacks in this round. The kill on towards Grim. Up by the Gandalf box. I mean, just keeping the AWPer at bay over on Catwalk. They do great work. Even with this, double kill from Sixy could have been just so deadly for this attack. But a brilliant recovery.
Oh. Not wanting to lose the opening pick to Monacy. They remember the sting of that the previous time they played. Sixy's aggressive short play cancelled, so he'll run back. And he gets away before the utility follows up upon his position.
Complexity was up 7-2 at one point. This has been 7 rounds in a row for G2 to regain the lead. It's got to be feeling really painful for Complexity, starting to get frustrated, and now you're starting to get picked off.
Scoreline looks close, but the momentum safely with 1 team at the moment. And with that Monacy kill, G2 once again have the advantage. Hunter should extend upon it here. The MP9 in those kind of fights can come out on top, and that's exactly what happens. Hunter falls off the top of the box. Grim now moves out long.
Oh, but they're out mid. If they pick up the pace here, JT with the Deagle, SMG. Nyx does great work again. Okay, G2 a little bit stalled out.
Monacy preoccupied in middle. JT losing health, but Nyx not stopping. Grim on the MP9.
What?
And Nyx just has a hero round. That little gun provides 4 kills.
All right, Nyx, that's huge. Clearing upper tunnels of Hunter and then just hanging onto the B bomb site by the skin of your teeth. MP9 does work and G2 gets stalled out. Finally, Complexity put a stop to the run. Right back in this and just 1 round behind. Oh, and look at the money from G2. They won 4 in a row to start this half. They lost 1 and don't have the cash to reinvest in rifles.
Nyx.
Oh, he's got an AWP.
Oh, you can go from hero to 0.
Oh, he's in so much trouble.
You can go from hero to 0 in a second. Heavy got blasts his head off B bomb site wide open. JT racing back, but he's flashed. He's held back. Utility now deployed. He'll do damage on the Heavy got, but not a kill yet. And he even sustains damage through that smoke. And you've given an AWP to Monacy. Bomb not planted yet, but it's being confirmed, and that up. It does not stop. No mercy. As you give it away, MongolZ repels the retake.
Just a quick peekaboo with an extra kill. Blind fire into the smoke, and you're exactly right, giving it up over to MongolZ. I'll tell you what, though. I think Complexity completely misread the economic situation they were in. I think they expected a buy this round. I think Nyx certainly expected a buy this round. There's no way.
Otherwise, he wouldn't do that.
It all pushes up for that angle against pistols. They just had the wrong call at the wrong time for the wrong buy from G2. And what a devastating round loss in the semifinals. At a terrible moment. Could be worse. At least Complexity's got money. Their first timeout taken.
Yeah, but you're down one map already in the semifinal. You let in rounds like that go against you, not getting the right read. So first timeout for Complexity. G2 called so many early on that they were able to make use of those, but...
Well, they've got none left. They're in the opposite boat. The only timeouts are the one Complexity calls, so it might be limiting to Taz later on if this game is as close as it was in the group stage.
Yeah, so here's the heavy guard pick is Nyx just offers it up. And you give the op to MongolZ, and this... Whoop, whoop. Dude, so stupid. Even in slow-mo, it's fast.
He did see, I mean, he saw the shadow of Sixy entering that smoke as he got the first kill. So, I mean, there's some logic behind that spam, but obviously just a beautiful sequence. Double up setup, Snacks. Tagged one on the cross. That's Nyx brought down to 27 HP.
Complexity have done a decent job at blocking long early. And G2's utility now floods in, so they take the space at long.
They used five flashbangs there to get out of long.
Well, they made it.
Yeah, 3 on the initial salvo, 2 on the follow-up.
MongolZ, aggressive pick at short coming up. Sees the barrel, knows exactly where his target is. MongolZ waits.
Please take another step forward. That's what he's saying.
He's like, just walk a little more. Show me a little more. And he goes in. Surely the swing from short will come up next. MongolZ realizes that. Not really putting himself in the position to get that second kill, though.
No, but this is what MongolZ was doing to him on Anubis as well, is just picking off any aggressive play, and he pins Sixy on the wall.
Well, he's not ready for another player to be at short, but he's bringing 3 friends over to deal with it, and he'll watch it MongolZ instead. MongolZ's just destroying them.
Op difference.
One guy, and Complexity can't stop him. Heavy God up next. And Nyx low in HP. All of his teammates gone. MongolZ smells him as well. He knows his prey's around the corner. He's gonna hunt him down straight to the chest. And MongolZ dominates Complexity inside of mid.
Gives like a questioning shrug as well. As why do they just keep walking out? Why do they just keep pushing into my crosshair? I'll take all those kills. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just sitting here waiting. And everything's easy.
This is really the last stand then for Complexity. Yeah. Lose this, job done. Out of the semis, out of the tournament, into the third place decider. And we've got MongolZ committing into the lower tunnels. Aggression into a round like this.
I don't think he made that secret in any way. They know the position. Kill is still his. MongolZ's got space to fall back, and MongolZ, a rare miss. So MongolZ gets away and confirms the 5-on-4, the man advantage he's given Complexity's defense.
High risk, high reward for MongolZ at least to kick off round 20. So G2 take a pause and reassess their options. They're going to shift 2 players back through T-spawn. If they go out long, you've got to deal with Grim. Bit of an off angle here with the AUG.
Well, they've shown they're not shy about using flashbangs to get out long in the mid-round.
Yep.
So those off angles should get neutralized.
In fact, he's just going to peel away. He'll play further back on the A-bomb site instead. Trusting in the smoke.
3 smokes, 3 flashes, and 2 Molotovs for G2 to end this round. Smoke is going to clear it long just about now, and they're going to make their move. Going to be going quiet for this first step. And Sixy's getting proactive on the map. He's cleared lower and upper, and he's confirmed the long play from G2's 4 remaining players, so everyone's shifting from complexity.
Smoke goes up in JT's face. He'll start to spam down through it. Some further damage connected onto Heavy God. Grim will finish him off with the AUG. He's pinned, but that Molotov's going to force him into the open. Kill from MongolZ. He was pinned, ready to go in 9 seconds. Plant needs to come in right now, and it will. MongolZ headshot, not able to handle HolZerk, so a 2v2 to close. MongolZ backing off. Hunter steps up forward. Oh, yeah, what a shot on the flick back from Hunter. And it's a step towards grand finals for G2. And they're missing one Kovac, but he's still looking for that reunion in the final.
As good as Complexity have been in this tournament, G2 showing today, they are still levels above them. A 4v5 conversion to get to 12. HolZerk gave you the advantage, but you cannot hold off that long hit. Perfect reaction. The smoke is up. They cross over. Molotov to Grim's position. MongolZ in position with the op. And Complexity on their last leg.
Quick charge out long, and it's worked out pretty well here for Complexity. The first 2 picks are good, and it's a shutdown.
Yeah, well, just as G2 didn't really expect the 3rd player to be here, Complexity's just like, oh, all 5? Okay, well, that's cool. we'll take them.
We'll take that, absolutely.
So they won't go down yet. They won't go down without a fight. One last attempt to breathe some life into a comeback. It's got to be 4 in a row for Complexity, and they've got the first, but there's so much money on G2. You have no easy rounds at the end of this for Complexity. It's going to have to be the hard way.
That's why they were willing to make such a committed play out of long, throw everything you've got into it, because they know that they have the fallback of all the cash they've got left over. So another really strong buy immediately coming out. So you mentioned the amount of rounds Complexity need to win in a row. They've got to do it the hard way. You still got to go against this op in mid and MongolZ. Taking their time to get across with the grenade. HolZerk's going to be boosted to look into lower tunnels. I'm not going to take the peek yet. Grim, look at this risk. He's got into the long smoke.
Playing a cheeky fade. Halfway through the smoke, and Grim backs off. Drops another smoke down, so long shouldn't see too much action. Heavy God still very much aware of the potential. Good pick from HolZerk. Yet again, another 5-on-4 found by your opper.
Ooh. Half the health gone for Hunter. Grim will be happy backing off as that second smoke is set to fade away.
I think he's mostly using that smoke to try and get information towards the back of Catwalk. Listen for any footsteps so we can call out numbers.
MongolZ still prowling in middle as we go under a minute on the clock. HolZerk not wanting to overextend. It's a stalemate battle. They don't know it, but the 2 oppers holding this angle.
He got picked off in the last round by sliding into this angle.
So he will have learned his lesson. JT going forward. MongolZ dealing with some short aggression, but this time he's going to miss. Second shot, he'll land it. 30 seconds on the clock. Bomb still top mid. Aggression in mid will not work out for JT. Grim gone. Shot for MongolZ, and 1 kill away from grand finals.
Look how it all collapses so quickly.
Nyx will run to long. Heavy God is low, but we get the grand final everybody was secretly hoping for. In more than one way, Complexity have shed their star, and they show they can still perform. But it's only semi-finals that they will see, as MongolZ is going into the grand finals with G2 to face against the team he is set to sign for.
And that's